guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is like the first video, I think, or no, not the first one, the second one. I'm not doing a voiceover. My voice sounds horrible. I literally just woke up, so I look so tired, but I decided to do a 3-part meal day, so I'm just taking you along with me on my day. This is kind of a different style to a recipe video. I'm not just going to be cooking. I'm going to show you some of the little things I do in between each meal. And my first meal today has a potato. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding though. I'm actually going to eat this. But I made like a really great sauce last night, and I just wanted to show you. So I just washed off the potato, and I've just got my cutting board here. And here's how I like to do it. Knife down, and you just come back here. My teacher calls this cutting on the prime meridian because you're cutting vertically. And there you go. And then you split it on this side, and then we're gonna cut slits vertically. And those are gonna be our wedges. I find it's easier to cut really heavy things like a potato, that's like super dense, faster, when you add a lot of pressure on this backhand. And what you're gonna do is have all your control right here, grip, right there, good. And then when it gets like this, flip it over, drop that elbow, perfect. Perfect little wedge. Now I don't add any like any flour or cornstarch to this. I just completely put them in the oven, a little bit of olive oil if I have that on hand. Last night I had some when I did this for the first time, but today I'm probably going to end up using some sort of vegetable oil, which is perfectly fine. It'll probably fry a little faster because that has a higher, how do I say, like a higher frying level. Like it can be really good. Ooh, don't do that. Okay, so once you have all of your potatoes, this is what they should look like. They're just in little wedges. I'm gonna get some foil and we're just gonna put it on. I wake up and just want something really savory for breakfast. Like, I'm not one of those people that wants to eat something sweet every day. I don't really like sweets that much, but I love. So super simple, super easy. We're just gonna take our potato wedges and place them down on our foil here, nice and flat. The flatter and more spread out they are, the better. I'm just gonna recut this one piece here because I want it to be a little bit thinner than it is. Really be careful because this knife is really big. And I did more pieces of potato today. The more large your potato, the more potato wedges you'll have. And then, like I said, like there's some parts that we're gonna have to cut off, and that's fine. Just throw it back on there. Okay. On hand this morning is literally just some vegetable oil. That's perfectly fine. I'm just gonna fill it up in the cap and just spread it up and down on one side, and then hitting the other side here. That turmeric smells so good. Okay, so now we're doing that. Let me go in the oven. Okay, guys, the turnout was amazing. Okay, look at these crispy, delicious potatoes. I know you can't see very, very well, but what we're gonna do now is just place them on this plate here all nicely, because I literally am just gonna eat this for breakfast because it's like one whole potato. It's so filling and it's just baked so good. The best oil in my opinion to use is olive oil because it allows for it to get that really crispy, like really, really crispy texture. And I'm just putting these on the plate. I really do like talking to the camera better than I like having to do a voiceover because voiceovers get really tedious really fast. Okay, here's what we've got so far, and I've just lined them up kind of nicely there. Okay, so now we're gonna make our sauce. Our sauce, we need honey mustard, Worcestershire sauce, and this is my favorite. It just tastes really good. It's got a great balance of vinegar in it, and just some light brown sugar. So gonna take this and pour it in. And I never add any measurements really for any of my videos when it comes to recipes, because I feel like what I think tastes good isn't necessarily what you may think tastes good. I can give you measurements if that's what you want, but this is kind of how I do. I just eyeball everything, and then I taste it. If I don't like it, I just go back and change it. Okay, so that's how it looks first. You see how it's kind of, that Dijon is sitting right there on top. I feel like in these videos, there's like low-key a pressure to have like the most professional lighting, the most professional, you know, look to everything. And I'm gonna use a whisk because I'm gonna spread it on top here. But here's my thing about it. Your YouTube channel should look how your YouTube channel is able to look. You know, like I'm not filming on some really expensive camera. I'm filming on an iPad. And that's the reality situation, and I shouldn't feel pressure to make my channel look like a TV show or a documentary just because it's a YouTube channel. Okay, let's look at that. Isn't that glorious? Yeah. Okay, here we're gonna do. So you can just take your whisk and you can just kind of throw it all on there if you want. It's really not thick enough to get like the perfect glaze by doing this method, but honestly, it makes it so that you're doing a little bit at a time, because I'm gonna keep doing this until we're done. And then top it with a little bit of your favorite seasonings when you're done, and it is so delicious. I love a nice savory breakfast, and this sauce is like the perfect balance of sweet. I'm gonna get some more of my favorite seasonings here. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more turmeric because I love turmeric. It tastes so good. And it's just like the aroma of it makes me want to eat it. Like I feel like when you're eating foods that smell good and look good, you're more likely to eat them again. I think that's why a lot of people are scared of plant-based foods. Well, plant-based foods are delicious. It's just about the way it looks. Okay, look at that. That looks so delicious. I promise you, it's so good. Okay, I'll try a piece. I get this piece right here on the side. This is one of those finger meals. Mmm. Mmm. I just got a lot of flavor. It's so delicious. And you can add this into a little container and just dip it on the side. So good. I made this kale salad like yesterday. It's just got fresh tomatoes, some carrots, some red onion, and I thought I could just go outside with my yoga mat and sit in my field. It's amazing weather out. No one else is here except for me, so knowing myself, I love being alone, so this is a really peaceful time for me. And like I said, it's just such a gorgeous salad, and I've got a few salad toppers that I want to add in addition to this Farmer's Market. Let me the light, yeah. It says cannolis. This is just a Farmer's Market sweet Italian salad dressing. It's so delicious. And then I've got some pumpkin seeds that I'm going to be adding into the salad with a bit of these Healthy Heart Mix PC, organic, great for you, into the salad. And we're just gonna go outside and enjoy the weather. It's just some pumpkin seeds. I've got some walnuts in here, some almonds, some pepita seeds, and as I said earlier, just the red onion and the tomatoes. Okay guys, it's absolutely amazing weather out here. I mean, look at the scenery in the field, it's great. I changed it to this little kind of knit top. There's a really nice breeze. I've got my salad. I put it in a little kind of to-go type thing because I didn't want to eat that much at one time and then have the rest of it be soggy. So I'm just gonna pour this on top of here. And this is the cutest little to-go thing. Like I put like the little thing I put the dressing in inside of this too. And it worked out just fine. I love being outside though. You know, this is just like, it's a really sticky dressing, but it's very creamy. It's really good. Also, I didn't film this, but I added some turmeric and some black pepper because they are known to kind of activate one another, and some sea salt to the salad. Let's see what it tastes like. That was a significant amount of flavor. Wow. It's so peaceful out here. It's a really good salad. I know it's supposed to be fall, but like we can enjoy the weather and like it's kind of summery feeling, right? I was thinking I don't really need to make a recipe video for a salad, but that's really good. Video footage of me running away from a butterfly. I don't see it anymore. Oh my God, okay. Me, I love nature. Also me running away from my life. Anyway, yeah, so I think I might actually make, I can't even take myself seriously. I think I might actually make a recipe video about the salad, which is so funny. The pumpkin seeds are great. I don't get how some people don't like pumpkin seeds. They're really good. You know when something's so good you have to take it in small doses? It's kind of like that. It's such great weather out here. I feel so peaceful. You know, a part of what I wanted to talk about today was, I was trying to avoid talking about this, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. I think, I know being alone is such a scary feeling for a lot of people. And I bring this up because, like, just yesterday, on the way to, like, DSW or something, my mom was mentioning to me how, when I was little, they used to come home with, like, those little papers, you know, the little logs where teachers write, you know, how you did, who you spent time with, everything. And on mine, it would always say independent player. And that's why I say I think it's kind of like a privilege in a sense to really enjoy spending time with yourself to a certain extent. Like, I'm great out here, you know? And I just look out and I'm just like, man, I can go for a run. Even the time I spend with myself doing my homework, all of it feels so fulfilling to me. I genuinely just love being by myself. I feel really happy that way. And I find myself feeling drained by other people when I don't get this time, you know? Especially on the weekends when you spend like the whole week pursuing your relationships with others outside of yourself. I feel like I really just need this time to just sit on my yoga mat in the middle of the field, eat my food, and just enjoy my company. I feel like that's really important to me, and that's something that a lot of people are scared of unlocking in their own life. But outside of being alone, I also wanted to say that I feel like there's a lot of comfort in this shift between summer and fall for me, because a lot of the things that make me feel safe, make me feel like I know who I am and where I'm going in life are starting to come back. So a lot of that is expressed in my style and the way that I incorporate my sexuality into it. You know, I get to wear more boots, I get to be more androgynous, I get to be more individualistic in the way that I carry myself. And also just like smells, right, and colors. So like I definitely wear different scents. Like I've got my essential oils here, and these were given to me as a gift for my girlfriend when I turned 17. But you know, just getting these was so like special to me. You know, it's such a small thing, but it's so special. And with this transition into fall, it's no longer, you know, eucalyptus and rosemary for a headache. It's now more of a grapefruit type vibe, and a yang lang and lime type energy. And it feels really safe, and it feels really warm. And I've also realized, and I've gotten a lot of compliments when I wear this color though too, is that my comfort color is green. And whenever I have opportunity to wear it, and whenever I have an opportunity to be in a green space, I feel at peace. Also blue. I love wearing teal in my room. I like to keep the lighting dark. I like to be in cold spaces. I like to be alone. I like to have access to earth tones and to incorporate those into my style, into my dress, into the music that I listen to. I like darker sounds, deeper voices, all of these little pieces of like who we are and who we become are intertwined in the time that we spend with ourselves. And I feel like a lot of people forget that. So I feel like that's something that's really important and really worth mentioning today, because it's so special, right? Like, when do you ever get to just enjoy yourself? That's so important. And I talk to my friends a lot, you know, about their interpersonal thoughts, and I have great conversations with them about things. But you know, you can only just hope that they're having those same discussions in their minds for themselves, right? Something I'm learning in my relationship, in my personal life, is that you can't be dependent upon other people in any way to bring that feeling of purpose to your life. You have to be able to just find wherever it is that you fit, that you feel home within yourself, and use that to manifest the life that you want. But you can't do that through somebody else. That's not how that works. And that's not how you'll find peace in your life. You know, so as I sit out here running away from butterflies and, you know, eating my salad, I just think about that. Like, that's a really grounding truth for me, and it's a really nourishing reality, because how many times do I really get to do this and feel complete in it, right? Like, there's no time limit, there's no rush to go back inside, there's no anxiety attached to this warm feeling. It can just be warm, and it can just be stagnant, and I can appreciate that, because I don't always associate good things with those type of characteristics, and now I can. I feel really warm in this space, and I feel really happy and pleased, and I hope that as you watch this, you feel the same.
the sun just kissed me. You know what I love about being a small content creator? There's no pressure to perform. Like, I can sit on my field and the lighting can be a little screwed up and I could be really casual like you guys, because I don't have thousands of people that I know are watching. Maybe a few friends, maybe a few family members, but this is just a peaceful space. This is a Zen lounge. You know, you guys are the hippies on my channel, and we come here for peace. We come here for well-being. And I think that's why I'm about to say this, but I think this is my favorite video on my channel. And I think it's because I'm cooking and I'm enjoying my space, but I feel really happy today. Actually, I don't know if it's happy, but I think the word is zen, right? You know, I call you guys my hippies because, one, I want to characterize the group of people that are supporting me, but two, you know, it embodies the purpose of why you watch my videos. It's not just for the aesthetics or the pure enjoyment. It's just, oh my God, I think there's a butterfly coming over here. Okay, it's gone. But it's for that feeling of completeness and wholesomeness that you can find in a person that feels really real, right? Like, I'm sitting here with you as you're watching this. I'm not off doing something that somebody who maybe has the privilege and the accolades as a lot of those big influencers nowadays has. I feel like your next door neighbor. I feel like your friend at school. I feel like a regular, normal person you see at the store. And if I don't feel that way, then watch some more of my videos and you'll see that I do. Because I'm real and I'm tangible and I'm not like some untouchable being. I sit on the toilet too. Like, I'm just in this space and I'm trying to figure it all out like anybody else would be. So I really don't have any obligation to make very professional, cut sharp videos. I mean, I'll do my best to make things look presentable and whatnot, but I'm in this space for me just as much I'm in this space for the people who are watching. So I'm doing what I can with the equipment and the time and energy that I have. And this is the best that it gets. And I think it's also a reflection of what I look for when I'm on YouTube. I look for people who feel real and who feel like I could know them in my personal life. You know, I look for people who have some of the similar opportunities that I do, people who are just making the most out of the little things in their environment. I look for people like that. I really do. And to me, that is what this relationship is that I'm building with my audience members. You know, I love you guys. I love the hippies. You are my favorite part of YouTube because you're the only part that belongs to me. So this is just really important journey for me and for us. I'm sticking around here for a while if you guys ever still watch YouTube instead of TikTok. Just hang in there with me. And we're gonna be okay. You know, and put this in the comments below if you think I should do a collaboration with my friend or something. So it's like, I don't maintain superficial relationships with people. When I talk to people, I talk to people about their life, about their interpersonal thoughts, about how they feel about themselves, how they feel about other people around them, their lives, how they grew up, how they were raised, orientation, their race. Like, I have very real conversations with people. And I think if you will want to see that, let me know. If not, don't let me know. I'm just kidding. But just be real and just be honest and authentic in the way that you express things if you choose to in the comments. And yeah, enjoy the space that is the Zen Lounge. Enjoy it. It's just so good. I just saw something fly behind me and I was like, are we gonna have another moment where I sprint? You wanna see that again? Okay, I think my next video for meals or recipe, because you know those are my favorite, is going to be a salad one. But I got some great ideas. And with this salad, I thought about throwing in some plant-based turkey cutlets and chicken. But for some reason, I didn't really think it would need it, but we're doing really good without it. Oh, and if you choose to leave a comment, that's perfectly fine. If you don't, awesome too. But tell me what your comfort zones are. Tell me, like I said, a temperature I like to be in, you know, what space, what color. Tell me more about yourself. I want to know. Because we're the hippies and we're a family, and it's how we grow together. It's by knowing one another and knowing what the other people need in our space. And as we grow, we will get to see what it is we can do for one another in our space. You know, there's a lot more to come. There's a future for us. I think I'm gonna turn off the camera now, but thank you for joining me. I don't want to call it a mukbang, but thank you for joining me for my picnic.
Hey guys, welcome back to part 3 of the video. This is the third meal or dinner in my day. So today we're going to be doing a bell pepper based sweet potato soup. So we have a combination of ingredients here. So let's just get started because this one's going to take us a little bit longer. I would like to keep a tray on the side of me, just like a regular baking tray, because I like being able to put all of my seasonings on there. And if I'm making like any measurements, I want them on there as well. All of my things on there. Especially if I've washed something off and I want to make sure that it still stays clean. So our ingredients are this Country Crock plant-based butter, and this is the olive oil flavoring. This is just light brown sugar, a yellow onion, I think it is. We have bay leaves. This is just going to be a little bit of color for when we finish. Garlic powder. Parsley is an optional. And then ground turmeric, of course, for color. And then black pepper for taste and activated turmeric. And then, of course, we have our sweet potato and our bell peppers. Okay, so the first part is to just cut up all the vegetables, and then I just have a bowl here on the side, and I'm going to put everything in. So I already had some leftover red bell pepper that I use, because I use this one pretty often. It's got really great flavor to it, and what I'm doing is just cutting it up, of course. And I'm doing little like slices like this. I feel like they're going to get roasted a lot better if I do it like that. And of course, I've already washed these off, and I'm just going to cut off this front part here. And this part here that has all the seeds, yank that out, and then there's like only 2 seeds left. Oops, I put that in the wrong thing. That's why it's really important to have a waste bag. This is the bag that the bell peppers came in, but I'm just using it as a waste bag because it's really important to make sure that you have some place where you're keeping all of the things that you're no longer going to be using. All right, and I'm just cutting up this second one here. I think orange bell peppers kind of have a sweetness to them. I really like them. They're like my favorite. Bell peppers can have a little bit of a bitterness about them, like when you're cooking them, or not when you're cooking them, but rather when you're eating them raw, they can have a little bit of a bitterness to them. So I like the orange ones because I feel like they're never bitter. Sorry. Okay. All right. I'm just put those in there. All right, and then we have the second one here. So I'm going to use all of these because the bell peppers is really the base of the soup. And let me talk about the great uses of bell peppers for a second. So bell peppers are really, really good if you're doing like a nutritional, yeast-based, no cashews, or you can add cashews, type of vegan cheese. They work perfectly for that. And I also love using bell peppers in stir fries with tofu. The other day at California Pizza Kitchen, when out having dinner, I had the best salad, and it had these really nicely roasted bell peppers on it, and they were red, and they had so much flavor, and I'd never had that on top of like lettuce before, so you can only imagine how like amazing of an experience it was to be eating something that was just so like powerful in flavor. But anyway, as I was saying is I really want to add that to my salads in the future, but that's another use of bell peppers. And in this instance, I'm using bell peppers for a soup. So once you cut up all of that, that's a lot of bell peppers. So it'll look just like this into little strips. You can like stir fry this on a on your skillet, but I'm gonna do it in the oven because I feel like I have a lot more thorough roast. Okay, so now I have my yellow onion, and there is a special trick to doing onions. So first, yes, let's peel off that pink skin. I wish I knew some sort of trick to peeling this off faster, especially if it's kind of like on the side like that. You see how it's like really stuck on there? Like I can run my finger over it and not know that that's necessarily the skin of it. And when you cut this off, it's going to come off anyway, so you might as well just take it off now because then it makes for a mess later on when you're trying to separate that from the little pieces that you dice. And the smaller the pieces of sweet potato and bell pepper and onion, the faster they're all going to roast and saute. So, yeah. And I've already heated up my oil over the stovetop with the vegetable oil because I ran out of olive oil, unfortunately. I know, like, the day that I'm literally filming a video, I ran out of olive oil. But that's okay. We're making do with what we have. And besides, I wasn't really planning on doing a really heavy oiled type of soup. Now, I've previously used bell peppers in the past, is what I forgot to say, for pasta sauce. That's what I was meaning to say. It works really, really well for pasta sauce. So the trick with onions, you can cut them in half along that equator there, and then you can slice them like this. This is how I prefer to cut onions. I just sink the knife in just ever so slightly. And then instead of cutting it in half and going like this and cutting it in half, what I like to do is I just go around and I do that vertically. So then right when I make that first horizontal slice, all of those little diced onions comes right off. It works out so perfectly. Watch this. Perfect. You see how simple that was? Now to me, that's a heck of a lot simpler than trying to keep your hand still and cut it at the same time. And some of the pieces don't like to separate, so it's okay to just go back through and do that. And these are always going to get blended up, so it doesn't really make a difference. And I'm not going to use a second onion. So let's just push this aside for a second. And now we're going to do the sweet potato. Now this is a whole segment for the sweet potato, so I'm going to go into explaining how to do that now. And yes, I'm about to cry because of the onion, but you can peel the sweet potato, you can boil the sweet potato, you can saute the sweet potato. Today I'm going to saute it and cut it into little tiny pieces. I'm going to do so now that I've washed out the sweet potato, basically what I'm going to do is move these onions out the way real quick here. Basically what I'm going to do is just, I like to cut them into really big, kind of like saucers like this. I'm just cutting, you know, horizontally down here. And like I said, just drop that elbow and you should be able to get it. And this looks like a really good sweet potato. I'm not seeing any white marks. It was like almost like little circles. Looks pretty good. Because I throw away any pieces that I suspect aren't any good. You really just latch onto the end of that knife there and just drive it down. You should be able to get a really good slice. Try to hold it as steady as you can. So seeing that this is a really, really dense vegetable, it's really hard to get it at the end like that. So I can go ahead and throw the rest of that away because I don't think it's worth, you know, cutting myself over. Okay. So little backstory on why I decided to mix the sweet potato and the bell pepper for this soup. Well, for one, I've made a bell pepper based sauce for pastas before in the past. And I really wanted to make sure that it wasn't as liquidy as some of those sauces turned out to be. I know you can add flour to make a sauce denser, especially if you're making from home. But I prefer personally to just go ahead and have the overall contents of the soup be really thick and dense. So sweet potatoes are very dense and bell peppers are really loose when really loose and liquidy when blended up. So I just wanted to make sure I had the best of both worlds. Also, I wanted the sweetness of a sweet potato, and I personally never made any sort of sweet potato soup before, so I thought today was a good idea. And then also because before, when I've been making bell pepper based sauces for pastas in the past, I found myself really just wanting to like eat the sauce by itself. So that's also a part of the reason why I'm doing this too, is because I'm very curious and I think it will taste amazing. So this next part is pretty simple. Basically what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add our sweet potatoes into this oil here. And I had to turn it down because I didn't want to smoke it, because vegetable oil has a really high smoking point. So you have to be really careful that when you're cooking things with vegetable oil, you're not allowing the oil to sit for too long on the skillet before you put whatever it is you're trying to cook on there. And you can put 1/4 of a cup of vegetable oil into your saucepan when you're cooking this. That'd be about the perfect amount so that it's not completely submerged, but it's just up to. So just a little bit down there. There we go. And here's what we're gonna put our bell peppers in, because we're roasting these in the oven. Perfect. Now you have two choices. So you can decide to season this before you put it in the oven, or what you can do is go ahead and put it in the oven and then throw all the seasonings in the blender, which is what, as I said earlier, I do kind of want a really creamy, thick mixture, and I wanted it to be sweet. So now we're going to use our plant-based milk. I think I forgot to mention that earlier, but we're gonna do about 1/2 cup of plant-based milk here, and we're gonna pack in 1/2 cup dry measuring cup of our light brown sugar, and then we've got a tablespoon of our plant-based country crock olive oil butter. What I'm gonna do is just put the plant-based butter, which is now room temperature because it's been sitting out for just a little bit here. I'm gonna throw that in there, and then I'm gonna do my milk, and this is just half a cup of milk. And this mixture we're gonna save for later. And make sure when you're doing brown sugar, you're packing it in to the measuring cup. That's really important when you are trying to get the correct amount with a very dense solid. But this only applies with brown sugar. So I'm using brown sugar because it will caramelize. So I'm not going to use the whole half a cup because this is obviously a lot, but I'm just going to use this to help me kind of get it inside here. And then I'm just going to leave this extra brown sugar on the side for if I think I need any more. You're going to use a spoon to stir it up. Just try to incorporate as best as you can. It's still pretty solid right now. And then I'm just going to put this part in the microwave, which is kind of like the cream part of it in the microwave. Okay, so you'll know you're done sauteing when it's not browned, but your vegetables are pretty well translucent, if they can be, like the onions here. And the sweet potato, if I were to stab one of them, is able to be split. So definitely putting them in that smaller dice helps them cook a lot faster. While my sweet potatoes are still hot, I'm gonna go ahead and blend them up because I don't want them to get hard or to be dense at all, which they really won't be because they're covered in hot oil. But all I'm saying is we're gonna blend them now. So we're gonna blend them all together with the white onions, which have a lot of flavor. I think I said they were yellow earlier, but after cutting them, they're very clearly white. So we're just gonna blend them up. You can add your cream kind of caramel mixture if you wish to now. And you can also set some of these sweet potatoes aside if you wanna have that to chew on while you have some parts liquid and some parts solid. But I'm gonna blend everything up because I want it to be smooth, but I want it to be really thick. For the most part, this is a very dense part of the soup, but I'm gonna pour just a little bit of this in, and you can eyeball this part. I'm not measuring this, just for sweetness and to help it be really. Now this is how things should look. Very smooth, very dense consistency. Okay, so I went ahead and seasoned with the turmeric, the garlic powder, the black pepper, and the parsley, which is also optional. And something I noticed is that there is, since this is really hot, and it's got still some of that vegetable oil that I don't really want in the soup on there, I'm gonna make sure I'm just using my tongs to drain as much as I can, and then putting it all in there. This is really gonna add that kind of liquidy type feel to the soup, and it'll feel like a soup. And I have these in here on 500 degrees, but when you have something at that high of a temperature and this great amount of level of liquid, especially a raw vegetable like a bell pepper, it's not going to get the stir-fry effect where you have that really nicely roasted look. And then also cutting it into strips like this limited the ability to peel off the skin. But this, like I said, is just a faster method, and this is just what I prefer to do. Also, I always burn my fingers whenever I try to peel it off. Okay, so it should be all filled up now. And now we can transfer it over to the blender. Like before, we're gonna take it off for a second, try the consistency, but also just add a little bit of the cream mixture.